By the way, for this meeting, atong i-discuss kadto lang mga example sa two-dimensional trusses, no? So last meeting nag-discuss na ta to. Last Friday, by the way, wala ko ka sulod, no? Kay naman to'y webinar ang ASEP ato. I think some of you ni join na to, no? Nabay pila ka book ni join ninyo ato nga webinar? Wala? Woo!
I'm not sure yet, sir, if they're here or not.
Come again?
Not sure ako, sir, if the ones who attended are here.
Come again? Di ko kadungog?
Not sure, sir, if the ones who attended are here in the class right now.
Naputol man? Putol-putol? I'm not sure. What?
Sir, madungog na ko karon, sir.
Murag hinay kay kag tingog. Hinay kay kag tingog.
Not sure ako, sir, if the ones who attended are here.
Not sure nga. Okay, so by the way, maklaro ninyo ang screen karon. Guys, okay ra makita na ninyo ang screen?
Yes, sir.
Kita ra, sir.
Sige, so let's go kanang discuss this example. So this is a trust problem. So we are required or tasked to analyze this trust, no? So let's say we are after of the reactions as well as the displacements as well as the member forces. No? Okay, so the objective of analysis, of course, is to get the member stresses, no? So the reactions as well as the deformations or the displacements. So in this trust, there are three members, no? So yan siya, member 1. Game on member 1. This one is member 2. And this one is member 3. Okay? So, trust man na siya. So, per member, there are 4 degrees of freedom, di ba? So, per element, we will be dealing with a 4x4 stiffness matrix. By the way, for this trust, there are how many number of nodes? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, Yeah, times 2 degrees of freedom. So that means ang structure stiffness matrix ano niya is 8 by 8, right? So 4 nodes, then 2 degrees of freedom per node. So that makes 8. No? So the size of the stiffness matrix for the structure, no, for the entire structure is 8 by 8. Okay? So ang buhaton na to karon is establish na to ang iyang mga individual or elemental stiffness matrix, no? Okay, so then after that, we have to combine to form the structure stiffness matrix. So it's actually quite procedural, no? Kaning matrix structural analysis mo ni nga dali ra kayo siya i kuan kanang i-program sa computer, no? So ang purpose sa matrix is for computer programming. Okay? So let us say morning atong element node 1 kani siya. Na kani morning atong node 2, morning atong node 3, mo na ni no. Node 3, ya morning atong node 4. Okay? So mga markers ani niya sa node 1 mo ni karon ang atong U1, U2. Okay? So mo ni ang iyang mga global displacements, no? So sa node 1, U1, U2. Sa node 2 is U3, U4. Sa node 3 is 5 and 6. Yeah, sa node 4 it's 7 and 8. Okay? So kani, the same time, if we consider the forces, so F1, F2, F3, F4, okay? Ang F3 and F4 mo ni ang atong reactions, no, sa node 2. F5, F6, that's the reactions for node 3. And subsequently, we have F7 and F8, that's the reactions for node 4. Okay, so kaning F1, F2, so mo ni ang karon applied forces na to, no, under node 1. So ang mga angles sa niya, sa ning atras gihatag, this is 60 degrees. This one is 30 degrees. Okay? So let's start with member 1. Ang sa member 1 karon, mo man atong member 1 is 1, no? Okay? So ang atong markers karon is 1, 2, 5 and 6, no? Okay, so mo ni karon ang iyang angle, by the way, it's very important, no? Katong iyang theta. Di ba? Atong balikon dire mo man ni ang iyang this is the elemental stiffness matrix. So it's very important ang iyang angle. Ang angle is, diba, mo ni karon ang x-axis na to. If this is the member, so it is measured counterclockwise, no? Okay, to be positive, no? So kani siya is cosine, ang S is sine. Okay? Balik na dere. May example. So pila may angle na to karon? Mao man ni karon ang atong x, di ba? So naman diri ang atong angle ra, so ang atong theta is simply equal to 0 degrees, no? So we have to solve the cosine of 0 and the sine of 0, no? So what's the cosine of 0 degrees? It's 1. The sine of 0 is 0. Okay, so balik na dere. So katong cosine squared, so 1 na gyapon na siya, sine is 0. So mo ni ang atong result, no, kani theta na to is from 1 to 3, sorry, no. So na tay kwan, it's not 0 but it is 180 degrees because ang atong angle dire kani man ang atong gihimong 1, no. Okay, nya kani may atong gihimong 3, no. So meaning padong dire, no. So that's 180 degrees. Actually, very crucial kayo ha. So, kani siya, kung imuunin nimong node 1 go, dagan kayo advantages, no? Kay connected siya tanan, no? Okay, but actually, pwede ra sa gyapo, no? Maglailahi ang imong designations. But of course, you have to adjust the atong markers nimo, no? Okay, so later on, we're going to explain that, no? Excuse me for a while. I have to take a call. Hello? Hi, yeah. Example, no? So since we consider this as node 1, okay, so ang atong member 1 is from 1 to 3. This is our member 1. So ang atong angle here is 180 degrees. Okay? So mao ni siya 180 degrees. Ang length na to from L1 to 3 is L. So sa pagkakaroon, by the way, for this problem, wala yung mga values pa siya, no? Sa length, sa E, ug sa A. No? E is the modulus of elasticity and A is the cross-sectional area of the member. Okay, so kani is just to discuss the process. No? So mao ni karon ang atong elemental stiffness matrix for member 1. And for member 2, consequently, ang atong angle is 120 degrees. No? So from 1 to 2 ni siya. So atong balikon diri sa diagram. So no? So from 1 to 2, so we have this angle kani ang atong theta. So that's 120 degrees, 90 plus this is 30 degrees here. Okay? And for member 3, it's 210 degrees. That's from 1 to 4. Okay, so from 1 to 4, so that's 180 plus 30, that's 210 degrees. Okay? And of course, we can calculate the value of L here because we can get the length, no, in terms of the value of L. No? We simply use trigonometric relation kanang equations, no? Excuse. So, for example, ang length na niya, this is L man, di ba? So, what trigonometric function? Cosine. Cosine of 60 degrees, L over this length here. So, we can solve this. Okay, so you simply divide, no? L by cosine of 60 degrees. Okay, and also this one, you can use the also cosine function, no? Cosine of 30, that's L over the length here for member 3. So you can solve member 3, that's simply equal to L over the cosine of 30 degrees. Okay? So mao ni ang mga lengths niya. So importante ang angle ng iyang length po. So once you have this, you can get the cosine functions, no? So mao ni karon ang result and also this one, no? So ato nang i-take into account diri ang iyang length, no? So mao na niyang iyang come up. So we have now 3 members and these are the elemental stiffness matrices, no? For the 3 members. Okay, so in terms of the global coordinates na siya, no? So as what we have discussed in the previous meetings. After that, we have to combine. I-combine na ni nato siya. So kindly take note of the markers, no? So ang marker ani niya karon is 1 to 3 man eh. So this should be kami siya 1 3 1 2 niya kay 3 man siya, so this should be 5 and 6, no? So 1, 2, 5, and 6. Kani siya is 1, 2 man siya. So 1, 2, 3, 4. No? 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one is 1, 4. So 1, 2. So this should be 7 and 8. So ang imong basihan ana, kung 4 ganin dapat kani siya times 2, 8. If this is 2, this should be times 2, 4. So this is 3, this should be times 2, 6. Okay? So this should be 1, 2, 7, and 8. So makita na to karon nga ang advantage kung ang katong 1 mo tagihimong kumo na to. So dali ra kayo pagkuha no, pag-add 1 1 for example kani 1 1, this one is also 1 1. Okay, so you simply add these two to get the kani no. Okay. So you can try actually. So this is 1.775 no. So kani no. It's the sum no, of 1.125 and 0.65. That's 1.775. Again, the overall stiffness matrix is 8 by 8. Okay, because there are 4 nodes and per node for a truss is equivalent to 2 degrees of freedom. So this is the stiffness matrix, and overall this is the force displacement relationship, no? So F K times delta. Okay? So after that, we have to eliminate no the rows and columns, okay, that corresponds to zero displacements. So if we go back to our diagram, so may mga zero displacements kani U3, U4, U5, U6, and U7, and U8. Okay, so ang mabilin karon is just U1 and U2 lang. In other words, you have to eliminate no rows 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And what is left is just a 2 by 2 matrix na lang no, for the stiffness. Okay, so muna ang reduced stiffness matrix na to, no? So eliminate din ako karon ani 3, 4, 5, 6. Why? Kay puro may 0, no? 0 man na siya, no? This one, 0, 0, kay fixed end man siya. Okay, so eliminate po din ako this one. And also the columns, no? So U3, 4, U3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So kani 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So ang nabilin karon kanina lang for the force matrix, this one is for the stiffness matrix and this one is for the displacement matrix. So kani mo nang ning mabilin, ha? Okay, so you substitute the given values of the forces, no? So F1 and F2, masolve na nimo karon ang E1 and U2, no? Of course, you have to get the inverse, no, of the stiffness matrix to get this one. So once you have the displacements, i-substitute nimo diri, masolve na pud nimo ang imong mga reactions, right? Okay, you go back to this equation. Okay, so then after that, once you have the displacements also, you can calculate the member forces, no? So mubalik ka sa force displacement relationship per member. Okay, so you can consider kadtong sa elemental gid siya, no? In terms of the elemental coordinates, no? So that's how to calculate the member forces, no? So let us continue. So mao na ni karon ang atong mga forces. Then after that, you solve the displacement sa sun, no? Then after you solve the member forces, no? So using this relationship, diba? So it's we have discussed already in the previous meetings, no? Okay. And once you have the forces, the reactions, the member forces, then you can draw the free body diagrams, no? You can do some checking, no? By summing up forces, vertical, horizontal, and they must be all equal to 0. Okay, so basically the process is very simple, very procedural, no? I keep on emphasizing that, no? So nauragin na siya, no? Balik-balik lang. The only difference is kung dagko na siya o deal na sa kagdagko ng mga matrices. Okay, so but kung naka-computer program ka, ora magina, no? So, I have decided nga, dili nang tamog discuss ano no? Kanang mga support movements, no? So, basta tong mga kuan, kaning mga temperature changes. Okay, so we'll just stick to the basic lang, no? So, after classes, ngadto na ta sa beams, no? So, kana lang gyapon. Then after that, adto ta sa grids, three-dimensional process, three-dimensional frames. Okay? So as for your assignments, so kindly take note, no? So kanina lang na to i-include. So kindly take note of this, no? So 2.1. Anyway, ako na lang siyang kuha na lang, i-post na lang nako sa Canvas, no? So for the assignment for the process. Okay, so by the way, sa inyong textbook, nasa dito ang mga solutions. Okay, this time I would like to present the a sample program on a so example 2.1. So okay. Kung saan nakita ninyo sa screen, ang kuha na, Excel na, file, di pa?
Dili pa, sir.
So I have to share another screen. Ay, ang problema is dili ba pwede duha ka screen, no? Makita ni?
One, sir, ang whole screen. Ang whole screen nila i-share, sir.
Whole screen. Asa man napita?
May na siya sa option, sir, before ka mag-share screen. May entire window, man, sir.
Entire screen yun. Okay. So kani, makita ninyo?
Yes, sir. Then pwede nimo kanang i-half-half lang siguro ang kuan para makitaan po tong PDF.
Sige. That's good. Okay, so this is problem 2.1. Okay, so ang inyong buhaton, by the way, pwede na mo maggamit o Excel sa inyong assignment. Okay, so again, ang objective bungod sa matrix analysis of structures is for computer programming. No? So, ma-defeat ang purpose na ito kung dili ta magbuhat ng program. No? So, ang pinaka-minimum nga programming language na ito nga gamiton is Excel. No? So, if you are well-versed with other programming languages, then you can, pwede rin ka mo gamit sa dato. No? So, if you are good with C++ or MATCAD, no? Or Visual Basic, no? Pwede rin kayo. No? Okay, so kanina this is for 2.1. Ang Excel lang, medyo semi-mano-mano lang siya. No? Okay. That's the difference with other one. Kanang programming languages. No? So kani, mo ni akong gi-set up. O sara man ka magbuhat no? So kada elemental ko siya, stiffness matrix, no? Okay, so meaning per element or per member. So, mo ram na i-copy, realist na ng ibang mga data. No? So, for example, kani siya nga problem. So, there are only two members, element 1 and element 2. No? So, this one, and 2. Mo ni karon ang atong mga assignments sa mga nodes, no? Node 1, node 2, and node 3. Ang length, ang iyang mga dimensions bilay gihatag, so ato paning solbo, no? Ang L1 na to is simply equal to 10 feet, no? Yang atong L2, so gamit ka o Pythagorean theorem, no? So 10 squared plus 5 squared, then you take the square root to get your L2. This is your L1, this is L2, no? So it is square root of 10 squared plus 5 squared. So it's square root of 125, no? Okay. So, Mauni, let's start with the elemental stiffness matrix, no, with respect to the global coordinates. So ang E niya gihatag man 29. So Mauni ang E na to, no? Area 1 is 1 square inch. Ang length niya in terms of inch, no, or inches is 120 kay this is 10 feet man. So you have to be consistent also with the units, no? So since you are using here pounds per square inch, no, inch squared, so you have to express the length also in terms of inches, not in feet, no? So this is 120, no, inches. Okay? So after that, ato tong solbon ang iyang mga direction cosines, no? Cosine and sine of theta. Ang angle nato karon is for member 1 na to, o man yung atong member 1 karon, no? So ang atong angle karon is simply equal to 0 degrees, no? From 1 to 2 man. So ang angle na to is 0. Okay? Na, so ang atong cosine of 0 is 1. Ang sine of 0 na to is 0. Okay? So katong mga cosine squared, sine, cosine sine, no? So mo ning 0 ni siya, no? So then you multiply that by EA over L. Okay, so akong ulikon dere. So kani importante kay ning so kani ha. So ako ni siyang i-highlight og mayo kani, no? Mao man ni ang iyang elemental stiffness matrix with respect to the global coordinate system, no? So per element niya, no? So kani mo ni inyong, so kada kuan klase sa structure, no? So kung beam lahi na pud na siya. Okay? Kung three-dimensional trusses, so lahi na pud siya, no? Space trusses, grids, maglahi-lahi ni siya. But ang principle niya remains the same. So kuhaon mo ang elemental stiffness matrix, then you combine. Then after that, you reduce, you compute the displacements. Inguna na lang siya, no? Okay? So in case makalimot ka ni, so unsa may mong buhaton? So you go back to the definition of stiffness, no? So kato bitong kuha na sad ka og unit force, di ba, no? Kuhan man na siya. Ang stiffness is simply equal to the force, no, nga mo kuhan siya og 1 unit displacement, no? And only kana siya nga particular node, no? Okay, so I think i-discuss na nato siya, no? So katong sa before ta ni-discuss sa one-dimensional bars. Okay? Nya so lang ito siya, no? Magsige pa ka og kuan, magsige pa ka og consider nga 1 unit displacement, no? Nya solbo na sa dimang force, no? So mo na nga imo na lang ning tigamnan, no? But actually gikuha ni siya based on also that definition. Okay? So again, I would like to emphasize kanira gid siya may mag-usab-usab, no? Okay? So for two-dimensional trusses kani, So 4 by 4 siya. Which mo ni? Okay, so you simply solve the cosine and the sine. So ang sa kaning ako gibuhat, so in terms of nodes ni siya, so para solvo na dayon ang cosine ug sine. Okay, so anyway, you can express cosine no in terms of the length, di ba? Masolve mo nimo ang mga lengths, no? Okay? Yang kanipod sa iyang members, no? So this one is for the kani is for the member 2. After that, take note of the kuan ha, kaning take note of the sa to kita dire. So take note of these markers. So ang element 1 kani, so mo ni 1 ug 2 man siya. So 1, 2, 3, 4, no? So kay 2 man so this should be 4. Okay, also here 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, for element 2, okay, so 2 to 3 ta, no? So kani mo yatong element 2, no? Kani mo yatong element 1. So element 2, ang angle na to, it should be this one. Okay? So you solve this angle. So using tangent function, okay, then you add 180 degrees so you can get the value of theta. Okay, that is for element 2. So the marker, since you're from 2 to 3, so it should be 3, 4, 5, and 6. No? 3 is times 2 man, so that's 6. No? 3, 4, 5, 6. After that, you combine. You combine mo, no? By the way, for this truss, kaning structure, there are 3 nodes. And per node, again, it is equivalent to 2 degrees of freedom. So that the structure stiffness matrix should have a size of 6 by 6, right? So mo ni karon 6 by 6 ni. So this is 6 by 6. Kani, ha? 6 by 6. So i-combine na nimo, no? So kani 1, 1. Man kay line 1, 1. Kana ra gid siya, no? 2, 2. Sa kay line 2, 2. Okay, so 2, 2 nimo is kanira sad, no? 2, 1, no? So mao ra sad ni 2, 2, no? So ang imong manakay makombine ani is maybe kanilang siya, no? 3, 3. Kaning 3, 3. Kani o kani, di ba? Mao na ni karon. I-add nimo ang result. So medyo kuan lang ka kaning manumano lang ka ning portion pag combine nimo sa imong structure stiffness matrix, okay, or the overall stiffness matrix nimo. Okay, so that's the may problema sa Excel, no? Medyo naisimi manumano. So this is now the force displacement relationship for the entire structure, no? Tatanan siya. After that, you eliminate the rows and columns that corresponds to zero displacement. So in this case, ang atong zero displacement ani is U1, U2, no? Zero. Nya, kanipod, U5 and U6, no? Zero sad siya. So ang imong masolve karon should be U3 and U4, no? Kay mo na imo, this is node 2. So kinahanglan ang imong vertical should be times 2. So that's U4. So U1 imong eliminate na, no? U2 eliminate pud nimo. What else? U5 and U6. Kung na siyang eliminate, no? So also the rows and also the columns 1, 2, 5 and 6. Unsa may nabilin kanina lang. Kani, kani, ug kani. Kani ang F3, F4 na to, ang F3 na to by the way is 0, no? 0 man siya. O ni. Niya, ang imong F4, it's going downward, no? So that's why this is negative 10,000, no? Negative. So, I, I, I received an email, no? Nangutana nga, kuhan siya, kanang, what's the, sa to, ang sign, no? So, ang sign na to, kung going to the right, it should be positive. Yeah, going upward, it should be positive, no? Okay, if it's going to the left, that should be negative. I think naman ko'y problem nga na negative na ni siya daan, no? So, kuhan to siya, murag na consider daan siya nga negative, no? Pero going downward yun na siya, it should be negative, no? So, you don't need to kuhan ka ng imo pang negative, no? Okay? So going downward, negative. So as simple as that, no? Okay? So nasayop lang to, nabutang ang negative daan. Okay, sa atong previous example. I think that's for one-dimensional bars. Okay, so again, I'd like to emphasize, if it's going to the right, positive, going upward, it's positive. Okay? Otherwise, negative siya. So substitute nini mo, so that means masolve na nini mo ang U3 and U4 mo ni karon. So before that, mo sa ning solbo ng iyang inverse, di ba? So F times the inverse or inverse times F mo na yung result. So once you have this, na-solve na nimo ang mga member forces na sad, no? So, ganin, no? This is how to solve the member forces. So, itong relationship niya, no? Nga, mo ang elemental stiffness matrix niya, no? Balik po rin, So actually, pwede sad kani, no? Kani siya. So to compute the member forces, you have the beta matrix and the force matrix. But this is for per element. Na kaning force matrix na to is K times U, no? Okay. So ngita pataglain na ni, no? So again, pwede sad ka na sorry. So in terms of U na lang ta, no? Times beta. So kanay na lang, no? So kani is the product of, balik ko na pa, ang P na to is beta matrix times force matrix, no? But ang force matrix na to is K element, no? Times U, di ba? No man ang atong F, di ba? Remember, F is KU, no? Okay? So karon mao man nga atong beta matrix na to. Okay, so kindly take note also no katong formula na to sa beta matrix. So mao ni nga atong elemental stiffness matrix. Ya mao ni karon ang atong displacement matrix. So that is how to solve the E matrix no. So kani siya is actually the product no. Product na ana. Nya kani mo ni atong force matrix, this is the product of these two, no? So it's simply K beta U, no? So the same here, no? For members 2, okay? For mo na ni karon ang atong member forces. Okay? So I hope I made it quite clear, no? So actually kung nana kay mga reactions, you have the displacements, you can draw the free body diagram, no? It's easy to calculate also the member forces. You can, or vice versa, you solve this one using matrices, then you check this if using the free body diagrams per member. Yeah, by the way, makita nimo karon kani siya zero gani siya, no? Kani siya mo atong force niya. It should be 1 siya kanang kay sa usa ka member, di ba? One ni siya, element 1, 2 niya. Kani siya is mao man ni ang with respect to the elemental access man ta, no? Or the local access niya. So kadto bitang manana mao ni karon ang iyang member, no? Okay? So let's say member 1, member 2 ni siya, node 1, node 2. So kani mao man ni karon ang akong P1. Okay? Mao ni karon ang akong P2, no? Kani mao ni karon ang akong P3. Sorry. Kani mo ni akong P4, no? So of course kani siya should be 0 kay with respect to the element naman ka, di ba? So nga to member force, a thrust member is a two force member man, it's either tension or compression, no? So mo ni dapat lahi gid siya og sign. Why? Because one man siya kanang to attain equilibrium, no? Okay? So puro na siya dito, so there is no equilibrium, no? So kani makita na to negative man ang atong P1, so negative siya meaning it's going downward, it's going outward. So kani siya is positive meaning going here, no? So meaning kani siya nga thrust member, this is in tension. Okay? This is in tension. No? Kani siya nga thrust member, this is in compression. Okay? So that's in compression. No? So makita na to kani ug kani pareho gyapon but opposite in sign. Okay? Na kani siya 0 na siya. Mao man ang atong P2 and P4. Okay, let's have another example, no? So before we call it a day, so let's dere example 2.3. Oy, appeal naman sa inyong assignment diay, no? So, assignment pa lang ninyo, ha? Okay, so just to give you an idea, pila man ka members karon? 5 members, di ba? Na that means mag-prepare ka og 5 ka elemental stiffness matrix, no, for the 5 members. Okay? So ang imong expected nga structure stiffness matrix ani, there are how many nodes? 4 nodes, no? 1 2 3 4. So the overall structure stiffness matrix ani should be 8 by 8, correct? Okay, because per node there are 2 degrees of freedom. So atong tan-awon diri karon din mo ni 8 by 8 na siya, no? Okay? So naa kay 5 mo ni atong mga elemental stiffness matrices for the 5. Now please take note of these markers here. Okay? That is very useful when you do the combination of the stiffnesses, no, to form the structure stiffness matrix. After that, you eliminate the nodes, no? Okay, the with zero displacements, no? U1, U2, this one is 7H. Oh, sorry. Tanisya, take note, this is pin, ha? This is a ruler. So meaning, ang imong 0 karon is just the 8, no? Pero ang 7 mo, na displacement, dili siya 0, no? So mo ni karon. Mekanis siya U5, U6, no? U6, sorry, no? U5, no? Okay, kanis siya is 1, 2, no? So puro ni siya 0. 1, 2, 0, 5, 6, 0, niya 8 is also 0. So ang nabilin karon is kanina lang 3, 4, okay, o 8. 3, 4, 8. So it's 3 by 3. No? So after that, you solve the displacements. Once you have the displacements, masolve na sa nimo ang mga member forces. So actually, kanang, I would say quite simple because this is really very procedural. Okay, so I think that's the end of our discussions for this meeting. By the way, this coming Friday, so I have a previous commitment, no? So I could not attend, no, to our class. So I will just send you the assignments maybe tonight or tomorrow, so you can work on the assignments on Friday. No? I hope you have already submitted the assignments for the one-dimensional bars. Okay, that's all for now. So if you have questions, just feel free to raise them. I'm going to entertain some questions.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Kanang mo-ask lang ko, sir, ba asa mi mo-submit sa one-dimensional bar, sir? Kay wa may submission sa Canvas, good, sir.
Kung saan na sa pagkuhan? Saan na ko pag dili mo kasubmit sa Canvas?
Wala ka nag-make og kanang submission sa assignments, sir.
Mao ba? Kung saan man na siya, ako lang i-figure out, ha? Okay. If wala, pwede ra mo i-email na lang, no?
Sige, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so anyway, ako itong i-address ang issue, no, sa Canvas. Okay. No more questions?